Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so this is sort of part two of that first, everything wrong with my 325. I want to show you a couple of things that have changed since the last video. So kind of first and foremost, you can tell that we have some brand new headlights right now, or I should say brand new used headlights. So these are European Xenon headlights for the E90. They are the Pre-LCI model, and they are not the bi-Xenon version. Apparently with the bi-Xenon you need coating as well. I did not want to go that route, so I just literally swapped these, or I should say swapped those previous units with these ones. I think they're way nicer. They completely have transformed the front of the car, as you can see. And let me just show you really quickly how to, or I should say how they look like. So these, it's going to be really hard to see. These are some MTEC 8000K halo lights, or angel eyes lights. This was pretty much a plug and play on both ends, so both those angel eyes and the headlights themselves. Direct bolt-in, direct fit, no issues. I didn't want to mess around with any coating or anything like that, so I'm really happy with these things. This is kind of what they look like from the front of the car. Okay, so with the car running, this is kind of what they look like. It's just a little bit tough because the camera doesn't quite do it justice. They look far nicer in person. Also, if you see any flickering, this is directly on the camera. It's just a refresh rate. Yeah, so the headlights, again, are the European style. This one is not exactly perfect. I've also opted to do the 8000K fog light as well. So this one's a little bit scratched up. It's been through, frankly, some hell. These are really nice. The only thing that I don't like is when you turn the car on right away, they actually flicker back and forth, even though you don't have them on. So in this case, they are on, but what I tried to do here is just to match the color. So I wanted a car that has kind of 8K, 8K, and then 8000K as well. So one of the first mods just wanted to really show you is this. The no check engine situation. No, just kidding. No, actually, one of the first mods is, I don't know if you can notice, but the seatbelt sign is actually on, but there's no beeping or chiming or anything like that. So I actually coded that out with Carly. I just didn't like that noise at the beginning. I thought I was hearing something funny from the engine when I was starting it, but I was not. It was just that noise was sort of disguising everything in the background. Let's go to the next mod. So this is just a really simple and cosmetic one. What I did here is I swapped the start button that was really starting to peel and kind of show its age with this brand new one. Really picked it up off of eBay, really simple. It's pretty much a direct fit. I also painted the outside here with a nice glossy finish. I really didn't like the way that the silver or the matte silver one looked like, so I just wanted to take care of that really quickly. The next mod was obviously the charge shifter. Some of you may have seen this from one of my previous videos. It's really awesome. It's just a Dinan unit. The throws are super short, and what I really like about it is you can actually kind of throw the car from second to third without having to think about it, or I should say without having to gate it. So by gating it, I mean you kind of have to, take it from second to third, kind of let it go into the middle and then push up. With this, you just feel confident that it's going into third, sixth, fifth, whatever you're going into. Okay, the next mod are these AFE intake scoops. It's a little bit hard to see, so I'm just gonna light them up. So this is kind of what they look like here. This is, I guess, supposed to shepherd the air directly into the intake, which is kind of right over here, or at least the piping for it is. Honestly, it's very difficult to determine if there's any performance gains from something like this. I would like to think that there is, but it's very difficult to know. Okay, I think it's time that we go under the hood. Okay, so it does not look like much, but there is quite a bit of stuff under the hood of this car. So first of all, let's kind of get the air situation out of the way. So obviously I showed you the air intake scoops that are supposed to sort of feed the air through the kidney grills. That kind of goes into an air collector and then an air box here. This is an AFE, I think it's a Magnum 2. I'll put the links in the description. Basically, this has a reusable cone filter design. It's underneath here. I'll show you guys in a second. And also, I found something very strange with this airbox. There's like inlets that kind of take air directly from the engine bay, which I thought was sort of counterintuitive to this. I started looking up what this was and if you can plug this up. Apparently, your car will actually draw in more air than what the kidney grills are able to provide. So this here is effectively just intended to give you extra air. I don't know how well that works, but this then leads over into a 3-stage intake manifold. I think this one was from like an X5 or something. It's not from a 3 Series. I actually got it from a different one. This obviously has the 2 DISA valves, which open up at certain RPMs and give you more power. Okay, so the airbox itself, so it comes with about 7 of these hex nuts. Once you take them out, you can just sort of take the cover off really quickly. So here's kind of what it looks like. It's just I guess it's a fake plastic carbon fiber or whatever. Here's what the air filter looks like. Now this one, frankly, has been through hell and back. The nice thing is you can wash this thing out, which is super nice. This one has God knows how much New Mexico dust in it from the Dust Ball Rally. But you just take this thing off, you literally just soak it in water. I dry it off with like a hairdryer or something like that, just to kind of make sure you're not sucking in any air or leftover air into the engine. It's also good to, once you're done that, leave it in the car during like a hot summer night or something, and all that moisture is going to be gone by the morning. Really good airbox. Again, the only thing I find a little bit weird are kind of these inlets here, which sort of defeat the purpose of any sort of airflow, which is supposed to come from the air scoops that are in the behind the front grills. The only other thing I don't like about this airbox is this. So this like connection point to the airbox itself, I actually had to put a zip tie because it sort of kept falling off. Not fully, like it was poorly sealed. So I did that just to prevent that from slipping. Okay, on the exhaust side, really apologize about the cleanliness of the engine bay. It's really dirty. It's been through a lot. So down here, I have a Team 2 Fast GmbH or Germany headers. These are effectively a cat delete, and they still have the provisions for the O2 sensors. The one thing that you'll see here with the O2 sensors is they're actually facing up, not down like the traditional ones. There's also been some questions about fitment of these things and do they rub the motor mounts. So down there, I know it's a little bit hard to see, maybe I can pinch zoom in. Down there, that's a motor mount, or at least the top of it. That's the header itself. Or I should say those are the headers. I have them wrapped in like a thermal tape. And I will tell you that the thermal tape at least is touching those, is touching the headers. So it's not rubbing, but definitely there's very tight clearances. So if you do put some thermal tape on, it will rub. And I think it's rubbing off a little bit down there actually. Now, just one thing to note regarding the headers. I did have both of the O2 sensors replaced. I did them myself. Relatively easy job. You just kind of take the cowl off there, or whatever it's called. And they did sort of fail within, I would say, 5,000 miles of each other. So it was a little bit suspicious. I don't know if those were the originals. They probably were. But it might be something regarding or related to the header. I don't know. I also took the engine cover off. I don't like those things. I've never liked those things. I just think that they're needless plastic. Of course, tying everything together from a performance standpoint, I do have an active Autowerke tune, and this does a couple of things. So it really livens up this motor quite a bit. I mean, when I got the 3-stage intake manifold and the airbox plus the tune, it was like a night and day difference. You could definitely feel the power increase. The car was way more able to break the tires loose, but also above and beyond that. So when you get catless headers, you will get a check engine light. So the active Autowerke tune does eliminate that check engine light. Now continuing, I have a Megan Racing upper strut bar. It's very difficult and subjective to see or tell if there's any meaningful performance gains from something like this, but I will say that the car is extremely tight in canyon roads and long sweepers. Even in tight cornering, I was actually shocked how much handling the car had. And I'm sure it's a combination of the coilovers as well. Yeah, this is a really decent unit. The only thing that I'm a little bit kind of puzzled by is how redundant is it versus this one here. So yeah, I mean, you sort of already have one, but I'm guessing this is further rigidity, which is okay. Body-wise on the car, I honestly did not change much. I guess the only thing above and beyond the lighting on the front and the back are just sort of these, I don't even know what you call them. They're like little plastic things you can attach to the bumper. I was getting the bumper resprayed anyways because of the incredible amount of rock chips that I had accumulated over the years. Frankly, this bumper needs to be resprayed yet again. But what I did is, while doing that, I just, asked the body shop to throw these on. I don't know how I feel about them. I actually kind of like them. There's very few options from a bumper or front bumper swap that I kind of like. This actually had a bit of a nice and subtle look to it that I enjoy. Okay, moving on to the side of the car. So I covered these in one of the previous videos, but regardless, these are my VMR V701 wheels. So I really like the look of these things. I chose them because I actually found that they're probably the only decent alternative to BBS. I like BBS too. It's just, I think it's a bit of a played out look, to be honest, on the BMW side of the house. So I opted for these guys. I really like how they look. The only concern that I have with them is I have a suspicion that they are a little bit too heavy. And I will post up some dyno videos finally, after about a year and a bit of tuning. I actually believe that these things are responsible for a bit of a power loss when putting the power down to the dyno. There's no other explanation. There's no noticeable dips. I really think that this is what's causing it. I don't know if they are extremely heavy compared to the previous ones that I had, or I guess the all-season tires and wheels, but it is what it is. Beyond that, I really like the way they look. They're fantastic. This is kind of what the car looks like with the wheels and tires from a distance. They are, I really do like them. Okay, so moving on to the back. Let's talk about this exhaust. So this is a Becker performance exhaust. The fitment and how it looks underneath the car is quite fantastic. The only thing I will say that I was not too pleased about was when this was installed on the car, I actually needed to go to an exhaust shop to have these tips effectively be cut off and then moved slightly to the back, because they were well receded underneath the bumper itself, and it kind of looked, I really didn't like the look of it. I kind of wanted something that sort of stands out a little bit. This is kind of what it looks like from the top, and this is kind of what it looks like from the side. The other thing that I didn't like is the exhaust shop didn't do a fantastic job with the welds here. It kind of doesn't look great. I tried to get a little bit of black sort of paint, like header paint, and just try to cover up the welds a little bit. It wasn't that great. As you can see, most of this is burnt off. But beyond that, I mean, like, if you're looking at it sort of from the side or kind of from the rear, it looks pretty good. The exhaust also sounds fantastic with the headers. I'll put in a bit of a clip. Okay, so the exhaust. I want to let you guys hear what this sounds like. I'm in a bit of a parking structure. All four windows are down just to set the tone. We're gonna do I guess a warm start, and then I'm just gonna rev it up a little bit and show you what that sounds like. No check engine lights. Anyways, okay, let's hit it. So we'll take it to, I guess, 3. Okay, now let's do, I guess, 5. All right, and I guess let's do 65. So the car is very loud, as you can tell. I'll put up a couple of videos that just show the acceleration from a dig and also from a distance back. Okay, the next mod. So I got some BR Racing Coilovers. These are actually quite good. I'm very surprised at how much better the handling is on the car. If you can't tell, there's about, I don't even know, I guess about an inch and a bit drop. What I was aiming for is when I put my finger in there, I want to be able to hold my finger effectively perpendicular to the body of the car and fully slide it in. And that's sort of what I have going on all corners of the car. I've never had coilovers before, but what I will say is I like the way that they make the car feel. The stance is absolutely fantastic. The car handles really, really good. I mean, to the point where I was actually pulling away from some very high performance cars on the Dust Ball Rally. Okay, another mod that I've done on the car via Carly is this. So a lot of cars do not have the capability of rolling the windows up beyond just, you know, kind of sticking the key into the handle there and then kind of turning it clockwise. Mine actually go down, obviously, so that's a no-brainer. But the kicker is when I press and hold the lock button here, so they actually go back up. So I really wanted that. Done. I really think it's something that BMW should have done from the factory, but I know it might be a bit of a safety concern. Anyways, I have just done that. I really like that a lot. Okay, the next mod are these license plate lights. They are just fantastic. Let me show you what this looks like. So these are super, super bright. They are literally just a direct fit. You just sort of finagle the old ones out, and you slot these guys in. The license plate is visible from a ways back, and it just completely transforms the rear. It doesn't look very tired like it did before. Okay, the next mod. This one is mainly to save weight, and you might be asking yourself, what does your trunk have to do with that? Well, the reality of the situation is a lot of these cars, especially the 3 Series, come with a nasty 60-pound battery. Yep, 60 pounds. What I did is I've actually replaced that battery with a Braille lightweight, I think it's a B2131 or B3121. This is an extremely lightweight battery. It's 21 pounds plus the bracket I think is another pound or two. So there's a massive weight savings here. It's pretty much a direct bolt-in. The only thing you need to do obviously is to code it via Carly and just reset your battery adaptation. Really happy with this. It's a sturdy build. It obviously has a bracket down there that sort of holds the battery in place. And if I was to take this top section off, there's kind of a bracket that goes across the battery, sort of holding it down. So super happy about this. Really a worthwhile mod. It does get rid of that factory bracket, the one that goes from there to here. So one more mod. This car actually has a limited slip differential conversion kit from RacingDiffs. This is something that I actually had a professional shop do. I did not want to mess with the tolerances or clearances of something like that. But effectively it is I think it's a 25% LSD kit. I will put the link in the description below. The car does spin both tires under hard acceleration, and I am able to do donuts without it looking like, well, like a one-wheel peel. The LSD conversion kit is in. Just have to get this back on the car.